You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, we have a ton of cast exits in 2024. We're going to talk about from Stefan to Nicole, Sloan, Doug Williams. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. And if you are not following us, please click subscribe. We're going to look back at everybody we lost, real life actor deaths and exits, comas, kidnappings, more. In April 2024, we saw Victoria Grace and Lucas Adams exit as Tripp Johnson and Wendy Shin after she nearly died, and he technically died but was revived during a kidnapping ordeal orchestrated by creepy Clyde Weston, so they decided to just leave the country. Baby stealing Sloan Petersen ran out of Salem in June with an assist from E.J. DiMera so she could avoid paying for her litany of crimes, and he actually paid her to exit town before she dragged him down with her, and it didn't work out well for him anyway, but at least she avoided arrest. Judith Chapman had a blink and miss it one episode return as Diana Colville when Leo went to see his mom in prison, and as usual, she heaped abuse on him. Christie Saint John exited as Officer Goldman, the younger lover of awful Clyde. She was nabbed by Ava and Lucas when they used her to find Clyde, and she is off to prison now. Late in June, Harris Michaels left Salem, abandoning Ava Vitale as he went off in search of wicked Megan Hathaway. That was the end of Steve Burton's one-year run on the Peacock soap before he slid back over to GH. In June, Xandra Cook did Salem a favor by shooting Constantine Melionis to death, and John Capellos was gone abruptly. Constantine had planned to kill Maggie after their wedding and was choking Teresa before he caught a bullet from Xander's gun. Good riddance to bad rubbish. At the end of July, Nicole Walker left town with Eric Brady, and of course this was down to Ari Zucker's permanent exit in the wake of her speaking out about the behind-the-scenes scandal and alleged harassment, plus her lawsuit against the show. Another end of July exit was Emily O'Brien as Teresa Donovan when her brother Andrew Donovan negotiated her a reduced 6 months stint in Statesville prison for her forgery, kidnapping, and other crimes. But Emily is back in 2025 in both roles, Teresa and Gwen. Bill Hayes' final episode as Doug Williams aired in July after the actor passed away on January 12th, 2024, and the character of Doug passed away in his sleep in December 2024 with a body double serving in final scenes when Jack found Doug already gone. Zach Tinker landed a couple of episodes as Sonny Kiriakis, who was in and out for the disastrous double wedding of Xander and Sarah alongside doomed duo Teresa and Alex. Sonny had come back to stand beside Alex at the event, and I am sure Sonny will be back at some point, though. Remington Hoffman was back briefly as Lee Shen and swapped back and forth between his cardboard doppelganger and him as a human during Connie Viniski's reign of terror when we found out she was the one who had killed Lee and we saw his murder. You know, they had the real actor back for that, and then chats of her thinking she was talking to him with the cardboard thing, and now real Lee and cardboard Lee both gone. As August kicked off, Everett Lynch kicked the bucket. Blake Barris's character was killed by crazy Connie Viniski. She poisoned him. And Paul Narita and Andrew Donovan were back in Salem for John and Marlena's anniversary, but John himself was not there. Andrew and Paul got engaged on that visit and then left town again, and no doubt they are back in 2025 for John Black's funeral. Drake Hogestyn's last episode of Days of Our Lives was September 9th, and the actor passed away less than 3 weeks later on September 28th from pancreatic cancer. His character, John Black, is still alive, but off screen on days. Drake couldn't film for, many months before his death, so they wrote his exit while he was still alive because they film, 6 to 8 months ahead. So we will say goodbye officially to the character of John Black in 2025, and we'll see Drake memorialized some more then. Julie Dove ended her run on Days as Crazy Connie on September 23rd when Jada arrested the woman who killed Everett, Lee Shen, and tried to kill Ava, Melinda, Stefan, Gabby, and Rafe. It's been since October that we last saw Judy Evans as Bonnie Kiriakis. We know she's back in 2025. She's taking a tumble down an elevator shaft on the soap set, And as of the time we're taping this in late December, we haven't seen Bonnie for any holiday occasions. As I said, it's been since October. Nancy Wesley was in and out of Salem in October, with Patrika Darbo bringing back her character briefly. And Nancy brought her daughter Joy to town and helped her wrangle a job on the local soap opera, and then took off again. And although Eric Brady left town with Nicole earlier in the year, he returned when his brother Brady was in crisis, accused of running down Sarah Horton while drunk. Eric again left town in late October after Brady was exonerated. Tina Huang was last seen as Melinda Trask when she dropped off divorce papers that Stefan asked her to draw up, and she successfully fought EJ's attempt to prosecute Fiona Cook for running down Sarah Horton, but I'm sure Trask is back in 2025 at some point. Louise Sorrell was back as Vivian Alamain for a couple of reasons. She had her pet henchman Yvonne stuff Stefan DiMera into a trunk after she forged his divorce papers. Brendan Barish's last episode was at the end of October, as Stefan was packed off to Alamania after the soap abruptly fired Barish. Also exiting in October was Serena Scott Thomas after a dramatic run as Xander's mom, Fiona Cook. She exposed Teresa's forgery and confirmed Xander was Victor's son on his wedding day, but then she got boozed up, ran over and paralyzed Sarah, framed Brady, and tried to kill Sarah to keep her secret before she was finally busted and slunk out of town in disgrace. And then in November, we had Vivian Alamain packed off to Statesville Prison after scheming with Philip to take Titan away from Xander using a forged letter she created. Kate turned her over to the cops to get her out of Philip's life. The original Roman Brady actor Wayne Northrup passed away on November 29th, 2024, as a result of complications of early onset Alzheimer's. And in December, Lucas Horton was back briefly for Doug Williams' funeral, and then Brian Datillo exited again with no certainty of when he'll return. Christian Alfonso was in and out as Hope Brady to say goodbye to her dad, Doug, and Victoria Conifal returned as Sierra Brady for the same reason. They're both gone, but we know Bo and Hope have a storyline in 2025 since Bo is finally waking up from his coma. Other December returns that were in and out for Doug's funeral were Stephen Olsen, Marie Horton, and Liz Chandler. Also exiting in December was awful Clyde Weston, who is now in a coma, marking the end of James Reed's run on Days, and Kat's mom, Katerina, was on for just a couple of episodes. Then she exited for, an indeterminate length of time. Kat and her siblings traveled off screen to see their mom in Vancouver, who she's still being held up there for his shooting, even though it was clearly self-defense. But I assume that Katerina will be back at some point in 2025.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.